sunshine. Let me have the sunshine.
Happy Monday, everyone. It's Frank Eckhart dropping knowledge, coming at you once again. A little bit of a message, a little bit of knowledge, hoping everyone's having a fantastic day. I'm taking one of my little strolls. I gotta go to the supermarket. I went to the supermarket yesterday, man. I couldn't find some shit, so I'm going to the local one, and I'm pretty sure I'll find what I'm looking for. I'm trying to buy chili. We're gonna make some chili dogs for lunch. See, this is the good thing about being able to take advantage of time, being able to take advantage of my surroundings, because a lot of things are very close. I've got a lot of things that are close to the pad, like the supermarket, the ATM, and whenever I can, I'll stroll. So, I'm out here strolling. Well, once again, shout out to everybody, man, that rocks with my channel, everybody that, that watches me, all of the people that have been donating. I truly appreciate that. I mean, you guys don't understand how crazy that is to me. I remember when my channel was at like 40 subscribers, and I thought that was a big deal, and it was a big deal, and it's still a big deal to me. Anytime anybody subscribes to my channel, it lets it be known that that you enjoy what I do, and that motivates me. I'm going to keep doing that. I just wanted to drop this video as a form of appreciation for every single one of you that rocks with me. I'm always going to be thinking about the next project, thinking about the next thing to do, and I'm always thinking ahead. I'm always trying to plan out my moves, what I got going, what other things I can talk about. It's not going to stop, apart from keeping my foot on these fools' necks, as you already know we do. Shout out to ET and Ladies of Exposed Tube and everybody putting in the work. Apart from that, I also want to talk about different things. Last night I dropped a live, and I was discussing my point of view regarding nationalism. I'm not a nationalist. I mean, I love my country, I love my people, but it's not about the nation, it's about the people. And I just want to put it out there. That is why when we talk about, when we transcend politics, race, nationalities, that's exactly what we're talking about. One of the things that ET was saying in the collective, and to which I agree, I think that people have to be able to pull the best from everybody. The best ideas, the best practices, sharing best practices, sharing knowledge, understanding different cultures, languages, even going back to basics like understanding math, understanding different concepts, having critical thinking. Like, critical thinking is important. It's important to have critical thinking. We need to be able to think outside the box. We need to be creative as well. Creativity does not always come in the form of art. Creativity sometimes comes in the form of being able to think outside the box, of being able to put, two and two together, but move that chain even further, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years ahead. One of the things that the Nazis did was they had someone that was in charge of the 100-year plan, the 500-year plan, the 1,000-year plan. Like, they were thinking progressively ahead as to how long they were going to maintain power. Obviously, thank God that didn't work. But they were planning. The Nazis used IBM to factor in how many people they could put in the gas chamber and how many canisters of gas they could use. They were trying to find ways of being the most effective at carrying out a genocide. You know, so I mean, when you look back at history and you think, you know, these guys were using scientists, think tanks, way back in the 30s and 40s. Now with AI. And so that's all it is, man. You know, I just want to keep people on their toes and thinking ahead, you know, to open up your mind to different possibilities, to different threats, but also to opportunities. You know, ways of combating, ways of, you know, staying grounded, you know, ways of making sure that you do not fall away from your own morals. You know, it's important that we test those every day. It's important that we test our belief systems every day. That's what I'm all about. Because if your belief system and my belief system clash, and because of those belief systems we can't get along, but if you're in danger, I can save you, or if I'm in danger, you can save me, then that belief system has to be revisited. Because at the end of the day, it's what I can do for you and what you can do for me that matters above any belief system. Like, I should be able to see you in trouble and think of helping you regardless of your political, religious affiliation, and vice versa. Like, that's the world I want to live in. And I'm not trying to change people's political points of views. I'm not trying to change anybody's religion. I'm just trying to have you really experience what it is that you believe. No, your belief system undoubtedly tells you to love others, tells you to help others. I mean, 99.5% of the belief systems out there, that's what they tell you to do. You know, so if you're not living up to that golden rule, because the golden rule applies to almost every organized religion. There is some form of the golden rule. You know, do unto others as you would like for them to do unto you. That to me is the highest principle of all. And that is why I'm going to continue dropping content. That's why I appreciate every single one of you that looks out for my lives and, you know, the videos and the shorts that I drop. I really appreciate it. I'm going to keep doing what I do. It don't stop. Frank Tico's dropping knowledge, talking Papa's live. And as I always say, until next time, peace.